Hey, so the Tampa Bay Times newspaper down here in Florida just got caught lying. The other day they wrote that they fact-checked Governor Desantis, and Governor Desantis lied when he said Amendment 4 will allow for abortions through the entire 9 months. So what the Tampa Bay Times and all the other liberal outlets in Tampa, Florida's a red state, but we got little areas that are liberal. Tampa, Orlando, we're just the cities, just like in Pennsylvania, is 90% red, but you got Philadelphia that's liberal. So a Tampa Bay news channel, I forget which one, repeated the same lie. PolitiFact repeated the same lie. It's funny, the liars hire their own people to fact check themselves, So I'm going to give you the truth real quick. So Amendment 4, the way it is written, will prohibit any restrictions on abortion until the baby is viable, and they claim around 24 weeks the baby is viable. It can live outside the womb, which, if I'm not mistaken, Arnold Palmer Hospital in Orlando has allowed a 22-week baby to survive in the past. So, but then the law says, or anytime for the rest of the pregnancy, if the health of the patient, meaning the mother, health of the patient is in jeopardy. Us pro-lifers will say the only time that abortion would be moral would be if the life of the mother was in jeopardy. And that's extremely rare that a mother's going to die giving birth. But if the choice had to be made morally, it would be okay to choose the life of the mother. But they're very tricky. They say the health of the mother dependent, and that depends on the doctor's determination. Most abortions in Florida are done at Planned Parenthood, which makes 90% of their money killing babies. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. They're motivated. They've been caught lying on camera, giving abortions to underage kids that they weren't supposed to. These people lie. Jesus said, or rather, I think it was St. Paul said, the root of all evil is the love of money. These people are evil, and their greed for money is what their motivation is. So Planned Parenthood can and does, this is a verifiable fact, does not refuse to abort any baby. They're not going to give up any money. And they can say the mental health of the mother's at stake. She's 9 months pregnant and she's already depressed. She's going to have postpartum. So at 9 months, they could kill the baby. This is how the law is written. So no, Governor DeSantis did not lie. The news, as usual, lied. The health of the mother could be, a lot of women after they give birth naturally, they have, issues with their bladder, perhaps. Oh, that could be a health, anything. It could be anything. It might give her hemorrhoids giving birth. That's a health issue. It's not the life of the mother. Don't let these liars deceive you. Abortion only survives in America because of lies. Just like I always say, the Democrat Party dies without lies. Abortion dies without lies. So just like the Democrats, Obama was a socialist, Biden, all these guys come in with socialist agendas, but they always move to the center during election time. Kamala Harris was voted the most liberal senator in 2019, more liberal than socialist Bernie Sanders and socialist Elizabeth Warren. And now all of a sudden she's trying to act like a moderate and say she's all in favor of drilling and fracking for oil. And she wants to build a wall all of a sudden. They always, like I said, if they give their true beliefs and their true ideology, the Democrat Party would die, and so would abortion, because the truth about abortion is a baby dies. A baby dies. A painful death. I had a picture I took from Life News that people found aborted babies behind abortion clinic in the dumpster. And one was like a 6-pound baby, and the head was cut, and it looked like the person who posted it, I think it was Life News, said it appears to be a partial birth abortion that George Bush banned, and Bill Clinton vetoed every time he came up. It's where you take like, if the baby's too big, it's like 6 pounds or heavier, you got to crush the skull to get it out. Another one was a smaller baby, but it was chopped up in pieces, and for the picture they put all the pieces together, and it was just horrible. And so I posted that, and a friend of mine said, man, YouTube is gonna like totally take you off. You know, they're not just gonna like delete that picture, they're gonna ban you and you'll never be able to go on. So I took it down because abortion dies without lies. You know, Bernard Nathanson has said back in the 70s when they got it legal, they said him and a couple greedy, again, money is the root of all evil. Him and a couple greedy gynecologists had this idea, man, if we could get these, if we can somehow get the court to allow us to kill babies, we can be filthy rich. So they went, Bernard Nathanson said all the gynecologists went on under oath and lied, saying that, you know, hundreds of women die from illegal abortions every year, when they knew the number was more like dozens. And once they got it passed, he became a filthy rich millionaire. But by the grace of God, he was led to Catholicism by the faithful Catholics that protested his clinics every day and prayed for him and evangelized him. But he said, if a woman's stomach was transparent, you wouldn't have to make a law, because they would see it's a baby. So today, the media, the Democrat machine, you know, it's all propaganda. They propagandize these young women, and it's like the shell game. They're saying, it's your right. And it's like, it's your body. And science tells us it's not their body. It's a totally different body. And that baby has a right to life, you know? And we know Dr. Ben Carson, he was considered the best neonatal surgeon ever. And then once he ran, you know, as a Republican, the media tried to make him out to be a dummy. This brilliant man, but this is what the media does. Because they can't win on arguments. They have to destroy the person. So Ben Carson said he's done surgeries on babies in the womb. And at 12 weeks, they give them anesthesia, because they know at 12 weeks the babies could feel pain. So even if Tampa Bay Times wasn't lying and they're killing babies at 24 weeks, these babies are feeling pain. And the way they're doing it is they're cutting their arms off, cutting their legs off. And you've seen David Dalden's undercover videos at Planned Parenthood. After every abortion, they have to put the pieces together like a puzzle, and you see a full baby to make sure they got every piece, because they don't want the woman to get an infection and sue Planned Parenthood. You know, you can't sue them for killing babies, but you can sue them if you get an infection. So Amendment 4 will allow abortion in Florida through the entire 9 months. As long as the doctor says, yeah, it's going to affect the health of the mother. Yeah, she might get depressed. She might get hemorrhoids. She might pee every time she laughs. It's not the life of the mother. These people are very, very deceitful. And most of you guys watching me understand this. But, you know, there's a population that still believes ABC, NBC, and CBS are legit news channels, when these are propaganda arms of the Democrat Party, you know? And I'm 59, they've always been this way, but they were much more subtle. The way they used to do it in the past was, say, for example, NBC News wanted to talk about a race issue. Instead of going to a scholar like African-American Thomas Sowell, great professor and scholar, they would go to a race hustler, a race bait hustler like Al Sharpton and get his view. So they were reporting the news, but they were letting people lie. Now with social media and Fox News, there's a balance. So they have to lie about what people like DeSantis says. Because us on social media hear DeSantis and he explains it. So Tampa Bay will just take parts of his speech and say, oh, he lied. So now they're outright lying. These guys are liars. And we just caught Tampa Bay News lying. And it's close. If you live in Florida, you have to vote against Amendment 4. And you have to educate your friends to vote against Amendment 4. If you don't live in Florida, pray for us. If you can send money, I'm not involved in any political campaigns down here, but I know the bishops in Florida are spending at least $1 million. If you can send, maybe, get in touch with a Diocese of Orlando, and find out how you can donate to this cause, so maybe they can give more to fight it, because abortion lives with lies. It will die without lies. And the way they lie is they outspend us. People wonder why in all these conservative states, these abortion amendments are going in favor of abortion and not in favor of life. It's because they outspend us like 20-1, the Catholic bishops, the Catholic Church in Florida is spending $1 million, but the Democrats are going to spend probably $100 million. And people, people are misinformed. They listen to a 30-second soundbite and like, oh, that, can't allow that. So please pray for Florida. It's close right now. It's not 51%. They need 60% because it's an amendment. So they need 60%. And I think it's real close right now, But if people knew it was through the 9th month, if they knew the truth, it would be like 90-10 in favor of life. But because people think that it's only, early in the pregnancy, most people are in favor of that, unfortunately. They don't understand science, that life begins at conception, and they don't understand Catholic teaching that life begins at conception. So please pray for Florida, and if you live in Florida, you have to vote against Amendment 4. I mean, it's a mortal sin if you vote in favor of Amendment 4. I mean, this is literally, according to canon law, you excommunicate yourself. You're outside the church and your soul is in jeopardy of burning in hell for all eternity. This is how important this vote is. And if you don't vote and you can vote, you're just as guilty. It's the sin of omission. So you need to get out if you live in Florida and vote against Amendment 4. God bless and stay Catholic. I got to get to work here.